Good evening, everyone. It's your host, Dan the Man, here to hear you tell you all the final chapter of Pirates of the Caribbean, The Final Voyage. Are y'all ready? Sit back and relax, and let's get started. Chapter 15, The End of an Era. The screen goes black as everyone looked over and mourned for Jack's death. And not a moment later, the screen shows that the Black Pearl is back on Tortuga and Jack's dead body was in a wooden crate, carried by Will, Henry, Gibbs, and Scrum. The four men took the wooden crate high up into the mountains with Elizabeth, Karina, Red, Angelica, Marty, Pintail, Ligeti, Bollard, Crumble, and Pike, also Murtaugh and Mulroy, each of them holding on to candles as they followed behind them. They walked, which seemed like for hours, until they came upon a nice cliff mountainside where there's a cemetery. There was only one person that Red knew as she walked past. One of them was Mr. Cotton, and the other one that she also noticed, along with Karina, was Barbosa. As they came to their destination, the men put the wooden crate with Jack's body inside, and then all was silence for a moment as emotional, heartbreaking music continues on. Just picture it in your head as Mr. Gibbs was saying a few words for Jack, as everyone stood quiet and said, "For the first time I met Jack Sparrow, he was the one man I couldn't trust at first. I was afraid of pirates. Then it turns out that he was not the man that I thought he was, and he became my best friend. He taught me everything about a pirate's life, and we've been through so many adventures together that nothing that we all have been through was never compared to this one, as we all lost a very good friend. Goodbye, Jack. You will never be forgotten. Your memory will live on for as long as we can remember." As Gibbs finished, everyone put some flowers onto Jack's grave, and everyone knelt down in sadness, which only lasted for only a minute or so. And as hours passed, there was no one there except for only Red. She couldn't bear the thought of losing Jack. And after everything they'd been through together, and after everything that they thought that was going to happen, is now gone. She then heard someone coming behind her, and as she turned, it was Angelica. Angelica too was still crying as she came over, and then she said to Red, "I thought I'd find you up here. It's very hard for someone that you love is gone, and how ironically that I planned my whole life to kill him after he banished me on the island and took my father away, along with everything else. But now I started to realize that he was right, and I was wrong. My father never really cared for me, and when I was bringing my father back, he did not care nonetheless, as long as he walked on the earth again. I came to tell you, Red, that I'm leaving." Red wiped away her tears, and she gave a puzzled look to Angelica and said, "Leaving? Where will you go?" Angelica sighed and put her hand on Jack's tombstone, which read, "Captain Jack Sparrow, a pirate, a brother, and a friend." And then she stood up, came close to Red, and then said, "I'll be going back to Spain, where I came from. Hopefully I'll start a new life, and I'll take my vow and become something that I always wanted to be before I became a pirate." And then Red asked, "What was it?" Angelica gave a soft chuckle, and then she said, "I always wanted to be a nun until I met Jack." Red couldn't help but laugh a bit, and then Angelica started to laugh too. And then Red said, "A nun? You wanted to become a nun before you became a pirate?" Then Angelica stopped laughing and said, "As I said before, it was long before I met Jack, and when I was so close, he came along, and we had a relationship together. I'm sorry I can't stay with you and your friends to fix the whole town." Both Red and Angelica looked over the town as they see that everything was destroyed, burned into ash. And then Angelica spoke again and said, "You really have a long way ahead of you if you're going to fix this place up." Red wiped away the tears on her face, and then she said, "Aye, but I'm sure it's going to be worth it, because things are going to be a lot different around here." "Well then, Angelica teach, I hope someday our paths will cross again." And then she gave her hand to Angelica, and Angelica took it, and both women shook. But then Angelica didn't let go, and she pulled Red towards her, and they hugged. Then Angelica walked down the mountainside and started to head towards the town, and Red stood by a little longer, staring at Jack's tombstone, which she stayed for one last hour, until long last she grew tired, kissed the tombstone, and whispered goodbye to Jack, and was heading down into town. But before she did, she gave one last look, and then she left. 5 weeks have passed, and Tortuga was rebuilt. Gibbs and the crew have rebuilt their saloon, while Will, who was close by, became a blacksmith of the town. And it's not just pirates that came along. It was also colonizers. And with each sign that a customer comes by, it reads, "Welcome to Tortuga, home of the famous Captain Jack Sparrow, and where everyone is welcome here, pirate or not." But Getty was playing some music on the piano, along with Murtaugh, Murray, Marty, and Pinto, while Gibbs and the others were serving drinks with the help of Elizabeth and Karina, which Karina had a wedding ring on one of her fingers, which revealed that she and Henry are married. As the party continued on, Will and Henry got off from the ship from the blacksmiths and went to go join their friends. As they were all drinking, Gibbs asked Will, "So what is your plan now, Turner? You going to go back to your home, or you going to stay here with us?" Finishing his drink, Will said, "Well, our home is burnt down thanks to Davy Jones's crew. I guess there's just no other choice but to stay here." Gibbs banged on the table and laughed and said, "Smart answer, wee lad. Good to have you back." Both of them hit the glasses together, then both drank together, along with many others. The party continued on, and then Red came in, but this time with a different outfit. The only thing that is the same is her hat, and her vest and her boots, but her jacket is sparkly, bright blue and black. Everyone greeted her and invited her for a drink. As she was having some fun time with them, she finally had the chance to make her decision. She stood up and said that she'd like to make a speech. Everyone stood quiet, and then Red stood up, gulped in nervousness, and then said, "I have been here for almost a month now. I have helped you all to rebuild this town, and all of you have new destinies. But me, I'm going to go find my own journey and my own destiny. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to set sail away, find my own crew, as I'm now taking charge as captain of the Black Pearl." Everyone cheered as she finished her announcement, and Red couldn't help but laugh and delight, and then she said, "Let's have some more rum." All of the men couldn't help but laugh uproariously as they continued on drinking and celebrating, dancing, singing. But despite how happy she was on the outside, she still feels sad in the inside after Jack is now gone. It is nightfall now, and the Black Pearl just sitting there by the docks. Red came in and looked to the captain's cabin to look around before she heads off into bed, and then she saw a note on the table. She lit up a candle, opened it up, and then she read, "Red, in case you are reading this, I just have something to say. In case none of us, if we don't make it out of this alive, when we go make that wish, I just want to say that I love you, and I'm sorry that I hurt you and everyone else. I was always in trouble of what I really want. But deep in my heart, I always wanted to die and sail the seas forever. In case that anything goes sideways and everything that goes wrong, I just want to say that the Black Pearl is yours. Everything in my possession is yours. Take care of her. She is a lovely ship. I love her dearly with all my heart. I will see you on the other side, little sister. Your brother Jack. P.S. Tell Gibbs that I said hello along with everyone else and say, I am no saying it, anyone. It's a pirate's life for me. Savvy. Red gave a sharp gasp as she finished reading the note, and not a moment soon she went out to Jack's tombstone and started to cry in tears, but not of sadness, but in happiness. She came close to the tombstone and kissed it, and then she said, Thank you, Jack. I'll make sure that everyone will remember you. Your memory will live on forever. I will see you on the other side. It's a pirate's life for me, too. The next morning, Will, Henry, Gibbs, Elizabeth, Karina, Pintail, Ragetti, Marty, Murtaugh, Malloy, Pike, Cremble, Board, and Scrum all came into the docks as they was watching Red, ready to set sail onto a new journey. Before she left, she came down and she gave a little bit of sad and happy look as she looked around to see everyone that she loves is all around her, and then she take one last look at Gibbs, and she said, You sure you and the fellows will come with me? I could really use a crew. Gibbs gave a smile and chuckled softly and said, We are all different men now, Red. Our pirate lives are over, but not yours. We are needed here. This is our home, and this is our island, and this is your home too. You are always welcome to come back, whenever you please. And then Marty butted in and said, Where will you go? And then Red said, I'm not sure. I guess I just need to look for a crew of my own and find out where my heart will lead. Then Will came over, put his hand on her shoulder, and then said, That's how I wanted to start my life when I was a boy. Surprisingly, I never got that chance, but you do. Go on, Captain Red Sparrow. Look for your journey and your future. Red couldn't help but smile and cry at the same time. And then she gave a hug to Gibbs, and everyone came over, and they all hugged. Red then climbed aboard onto the Black Pearl, and with the help of the men, she sailed away. She waved goodbye to everyone, and everyone waved back as they watched the Black Pearl sailing away into the sunrise. Red gave one last look as she was sailing away, and she looked through her spyglass and saw that everyone was heading back into their homes. She then grabbed the steering board, tied it onto a rope so it won't go into the wrong direction. Then she grabbed her hat from the closet, which also revealed wanted poster Jack, a whole collection of ships inside bottles, and she lastly grabbed her compass, grabbed onto the steering wheel again, which pointed north. And then she gave a smile as she was looking through a picture that she made of Jack on top of the lid. And then she said, as she looked on into the sunrise, and said, Drink up, me hearties, your ho. And then, with one last dramatic music, the Black Pearl continues sailing away. And then the credits roll, with directed by Gore Verbisky, and etc., 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 etc. And now, we head on into the cast. Johnny Depp, Margaret Robbie, Penelope Cruz, Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley, Bretton Fairwaits, Kaya Scardelario, Kevin R. McNally, Goshifted Farahani, apologize if I don't get the name correctly, Lee Ehrenberg, Mackenzie Cook, Stephen Graham, Martin Kleber, Angus Barnett, and the actors who play Malloy, Crumble, Pike, and Board, which I don't remember, and I apologize for that. And then featuring Charlize Theron as Janisha, Naomi Harris as Calypso, Richard Harris as the governor, with Javier Bardem as Salazar, Tom Hollander as Ward Cutler Beckett, Zoe Saldana as Anna Maria, Guy Pearce as Scarface, and lastly, Bill Nighy as Davy Jones. And then the title is revealed, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Final Voyage. And then it reveals a post-credit scene. Red is in England, taking a drink, and as she paid up the bartender, she was visited by Anna Maria, who was waiting onto the dock. Both women greeted each other, and then Anna Maria said, I heard you looking for a crew. Gave her with a smirk of a smile. Red said, Aye, indeed I am, and then asked, You'll be interested? But Anna Maria refused. And then she said, Nay, pirate life is over for me. I do apologize for not making for the funeral. It's really sad to see that Jack is gone now. Red stood silent for a moment, then she sighed deeply and said, Aye, but I will never forget him. Just when Red was about to leave, Anna Maria stopped her and then she said, I said I would not be part of your crew, but I didn't say I would not help you to look for a pirate crew. Confused, Red asked, You know some people that I could look for? And then Anna Maria smiled and said, Aye, let me show you. Both women landed on the Black Pearl and started to sail away. But what they didn't know is that they were being spied on by some stranger. The stranger was hiding in a black gold cloak with a feathered hat and with nice polished boots. The stranger's face was never revealed, and then he backed away into the darkness. Then the credits continue on, and then there's another post-credit scene. 1 month later, Red has found her crew. A nice, sturdy, both men and woman pirate crew. As they sailed on, Red was teaching them the pirate song that Jack taught her, A Pirate's Life for Me. They continue on singing, dancing, and drinking, and as Red took on the steering wheel, she heard some splashes. On a rocky little island, she saw some mer people. One of them was a mermaid and a merman, and then there were 2 little mer children. The mer people noticed the ship, but they were not afraid. Red smiled and they waved back. And then she heard her first mate, named Smallweed, and asked, Where are we sailing to, Captain? Taking a deep breath, Red said, Into the great beyond. And that is the end of Pirates of the Caribbean, The Final Voyage. What do you guys think of the story? Do you like it or not? Please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more notifications of videos, shorts, and posts in the future. And also to like my previous videos, shorts, and posts that I've done in the past. Please help also to share to your friends and families. And help me to reach, before the end of July, 100 subscribers or more. Hope you all have a good, splendid day. God bless. And I have no say in it, Pirates of the Caribbean fans. It's a pirate's life, not only for me, but for all of us. Savvy?